Good morning. As a freedom-loving American and someone who, once upon a life, enjoyed freedom's unlimited abundance, now witnesses his country's descent into scarcity, molding an ever-increasing generational despair, catalyzed by an infiltration of several decades' worth of an ideology which promotes victimhood, a diluted sense of identity, destruction rather than debate, as well as genocide disguised as climate crisis. The ideology behind these and countless other atrocities is known as nothing other than Marxism. What is Marxism? Marxism is simply the result of freedom's chronic abuse without discernment or vigilance. Marxism is an ideology that continues to be clumsily attached to and woven through the already established ideas inherent in our nation's constitution, along with our God-given notions of family and society at large, as well as, to be sure of, the individual. Marxism is the boot heel under which so many freedom-seeking people around the world suffer and die in order to serve a beast whose Marxist ideology has its victims convinced it is their one true God and the sole benefactor of the once free man's labor. Marxism is demonic in nature. One of its most historically vehement advocates has himself stated this to be true. Yet another, at the time of this urgently composed exhortation, is actively seeking to occupy the office of President of the United States of America. Marxism ruins any worthwhile notions of creativity and striving in the womb. It steals both bread and oven while destroying the lives of both baker and miller. Marxism is the way good people continue to acquiesce to the tyranny of poverty, the way an innocent child is controlled by a howling dog because the parents are ill-equipped for the job due to the insidious, creeping nature of the Marxist threat to our freedom-loving families. Marxism is the very banality of evil itself. Marxism is the union organizer, promising higher wages, more and better benefits, while his hand reaches to the bottom of your pockets if necessary every payday, regardless of one's color, creed, race, or religion. Marxism is the result of a government that has been co-opted into legislating itself, along with its world-weary tax humps, into an increasingly endless administrative maze whose ever-narrowing walls endeavor to constrict our speech and our right to defend ourselves against the very type of government whose existence we currently struggle to justify. Meanwhile, freedom-loving Americans continue to collapse under the weight of bloated government entitlements without any hope for the opportunities our Constitution guarantees, regardless of race, creed, color, or religion, just like it says on the job application. Now, who knows the difference? Only the worker whose union has negotiated its dues-paying members out of a job, whose shop was packed away and shipped to lands where Marxism's stranglehold over its workers renders a union inert and prone to eradication should it dare to rear its ugly head. This, in addition to the restrictions on our freedom of assembly, as our towns, cities, and states are being destroyed by Marxist ideology. Even the least threatening counter-narrative is met with deaf ears, darkened hearts, and violent retribution. Marxism is the fentanyl pouring across the border, as well as the overdose, as well as the Narcan resuscitator. Marxism is what has led to the refugee crisis, which is sadly and tragically ending in genocide. Marxism is the sense of victimhood and entitlement that stifles innovation. Marxism has subjugated many freeborn men into thinking it is now their sacred duty to correct the wrongs of their ancestors by paying reparations to those that cry oppression, as if they had just finished rotating the crops on the plantation of American slavery's dark legacy. Marxism is the way in which a once free people have been coerced into believing they've made too many politically incorrect choices far too often. And if we can't seem to all enjoy the same things the same way according to the whims of the state, then they must be destroyed. Regrettably, there is more than one generation of free-born men that stumble frustrated and confused at the world around them and what can be done to ensure they are never forced to settle in some Stalinist-era tribute to the Cloward and Piven strategy, which serves as the puller of the thread of freedom's unraveling, only to find itself wrapped around a delicate, determined administrative finger to be sewn into the Marxist, socialist dolphin net of entitlements that propose to serve as redeemer to the perpetual victim class, while also a drag on the very people it extorts in order to maintain a facade of power without oversight. The Marxist socialist state does not regard its true victims as anything other than a load-bearing commodity, without a mind to use for anything other than service and devotion to the state under any and all conditions. Marxism is the infiltration of queer theory and critical race theory into our education system from pre-kindergarten through high school graduation, then to the universities and institutions, homes, and workplaces. Marxism is destroying women's competitive sports in categories where they long ago proved themselves to be champions. Men's professional sports, however, provide the largest conduit through which the bulk sewage of woke Marxist ideology relentlessly flows. Due to recent catastrophic world events that were seemingly beyond the control of anyone at any rank, more people than at any time in modern history since the Marxist Nazi invasion of Poland have been rendered broken, homeless, addicted, and without hope as they are shuffled from bus to hotel to what one can only imagine is their ultimate doom. This growing diaspora contains among its population both oppressor and oppressed. Women and girls are being duped or otherwise forced into addiction and sexual slavery to serve at the deviant, demonic pleasures of their perverted captors, whose sins themselves feed into the banality of evil, which is the aphrodisiac of Marxist power. As well, there are roving gangs of misguided young men assuming control of once quiet streets where women and children once felt safe and free to walk and talk and gather in peace, yet are now being molested, hunted, kidnapped, raped, and murdered. Meanwhile, once free men of the Western world are currently, through legislation, being rendered powerless to do little more than witness while our very existence remains unjustifiable to the Marxist who has mistaken our kindness for weakness far too often to remain tolerable. These administrative Marxist vermin continue to infiltrate our cherished legislative body. As your fellow American, and one who recalls fondly the Constitution of the United States of America and the oath to which he swore, I now hereby pledge my allegiance anew.